Hello, my name is Nelson. This video is for the hands-on knowledge workers wanting to gain the additional analytical skills for building a great mission-critical system. Project management is our first topic. In this short video, we're going to disclose how to deliver a software development project faster with less resources, lower costs, and better results. Before starting a project, mentally, we need to be convinced that it can be done. In fact, we have to be convinced that anything can be done given time, resource, and money. This is a true story. A friend of mine was the project lead of a $2 million development project. Soon after he took on the project, I asked him how things are going. He said, "It's gonna fail." I laughed and said, "You're right, it's going to fail. What are you thinking? You're leading the project." Soon enough, after numerous delays and when the price tag hit $6 million, the project was cancelled. It was in the news. The moral of the story is, where there's a will, there's a way. It works both in the conscious as well as subconscious mind. As part of the risk management, I cannot overemphasize the importance of not reinventing the wheel. If the solution already exists, use it. If it has already been done before, repeat it. Always look into the past for a proven solution to minimize risk. Next, make sure every stakeholder is on side. Ask tough questions up front to identify obstacles early. We may need to put a stop on the project if the risk happens to outweigh benefits. In order to speed up delivery, break down the project into smaller incremental tasks so it can be done and tackled independently. Don't forget to choose the appropriate methodology and ensure that there is sufficient time and resources, including money. Last but not least, remember to take total responsibility to deliver a total solution, regardless of circumstances or seemingly unrelated impediments. When in doubt, improvise. Bear in mind that the best product not delivered is worthless. Delivery has got to be the #1 key success factor. Let's take a look at the essential elements of a project and how we can speed up delivery and minimize risk, resources, costs at the same time. There are two distinctly different development methodologies. We shall review how they came about and which one we should choose to deliver a project. At the end, we shall see how important contingency management is as an insurance policy. When there's a well-defined goal, a deadline, and a supply of resources, we have a project. Most of the time, the objective is to complete the project within the given timeline and availability of resources. However, a great project manager will attempt to minimize risk and resources such as labor and costs while speeding up delivery with improved quality. People make things happen. It is important that we deal with the mindset first. Make sure all stakeholders are on site. Have an identifiable end goal and communicate that to all team members. There should be complete transparency, no holdback of information for selfish reason. Team members must be confident that this can be done with a unified, transcendent purpose. Roles and objectives must be clear when assigned to individual team members. It is all about time, resource, and money. Since delivery is the most important aspect in project management, we should find ways to speed up delivery. When the project is divided into many smaller tasks or paths, the longest path is the critical path. In order to speed up delivery, it is important to identify all the critical paths so we can shorten them or reschedule them into more parallel activities. Be aware that once these critical paths are no longer critical, other critical paths may surface and may need to be treated the same way until they can no longer be shortened or rescheduled. Delivery certainly addresses the time component of a project. The other major factor affecting the project is resource management. Resources can affect delivery time and overall costs. In the next two slides, we shall discuss how to minimize resources to shorten delivery time. Yes, I said minimize resources to shorten delivery time. Many executives have been misled that by adding more resources, the project can be completed faster. However, the opposite is often true. We as humans has limited ability. We can only remember a few things at a time in our short-term memory. This can be a problem when the communication channels grow exponentially as the team grows bigger. Let's analyze what resources are ordinarily required to complete a typical software development project. It is not uncommon that the following expertise is required: one project manager, one business analyst, one system architect, one system analyst, a couple of programmers, a couple of testers, one database administrator, and one systems engineer. If each one represents a full-time position, it can easily add up to $1 million payroll a year. There are many ways to solve a problem. Great developers combine three skills: business, analytical, and technical. Through cross-functional training, the developers can become more versatile. For instance, each developer equipped with business domain knowledge and technical know-how can be trained on additional analytical skills such as project management, systems analysis, process and data modeling, testing, etc. Now add up on top a platform such as Rintagi, which simplifies development and also provides a predefined architecture to run in the cloud. The job for systems architects and systems engineer can be eliminated. Ultimately, the project can be delivered by just a small team. Our ability to communicate is limited. As mentioned previously, a smaller team yields better results, and the ideal team size is 3 to 9. The old saying, too many cooks spoil the soup, applies here. Methodology is like strategy. It will give us perspectives from time to time to keep us on the right path. There are two distinct methodologies. The older waterfall approach flows sequentially downward through phases of analysis, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance. There is no turning back. The result is linear. The requirements specification needs to be 100% accurate upfront, or resulting system may not be operational at all. This can be a problem when requirements changes before the project is completed. The newer iterative approach assumed changes can be made anytime, anywhere. Additional features can be designed, developed, and tested in repeated cycles. It is done only when no more additional change is required. The gain can be exponential because of the learning curve on each iteration. How did the methodologies came about? In the old days, the program written in those computing languages were very difficult to make changes to, rendering the waterfall methodology is the best in developing a system. No one wished to go back to make changes anyway. Might as well make sure all the requirements are specified exactly up front before coding starts. As the computing languages and platform becomes more and more capable in handling changes, the iterative approach starting to make sense. Greater idea comes from great ideas. Requirement specification can change for the better as incremental development produces more and more results. Regardless of the language itself, it is obvious that writing 1 page of something is a lot easier than writing 6 pages. In this chart, one can see that 50 years ago, it would take days, if not weeks, to write 6 pages of computing code, when it can be done drag and drop today in seconds via technology like Rintagi. The methodology we're recommending is not just iterative, but also incremental. It is important to identify and divide the project into many smaller tasks that build on top of one another like a building block. Each block can be built incrementally, stacking on the others. Every block is designed, implemented, tested, and demoed to clients independently. It is considered done only when approved by clients as satisfying all requirements. By combining cross-functional training, Rintagi development platform, iterative and incremental development, we can deliver a project faster with less resources, lower cost, and high quality. The iterative methodology has become the great choice for many innovative development projects that cannot possibly specify everything up front. The best approach in those projects is to let better ideas take over as more feedbacks obtained during and after development. In fact, Rintogi allows many changes to be done on the fly even after the systems has been deployed as production systems. Experimentations, user experience, and user feedback often yield the best results under those circumstances. Many methodologies out there share the same iterative principles. First observe, plan, or analyze, then orient, do, or exhaust all the alternatives, then decide, check, or pick the best alternatives. Finally, act on it. By far, Scrum is one of the most popular methodologies. It promotes the inspect and adapt cycle with the same iterative principles which Rintogi thrives on. Scrum methodology is both iterative and incremental. We call that AGILE. It breaks into testable short stories that has values to customers. Schedule events for frequent reviews such as weekly sprint, making removing impediments the highest priority. Learn from the experience, fine-tune along the way, demo the actual product. Each deliverable is considered done only when verified by users on real data. Keep testing repetitively is key to perfection. Last but not least, we need to cover contingency management. Anyone familiar with Murphy's Law would know that anything that can go wrong may go wrong. Although this is not necessarily true all the time, why take the risk? It can be devastating if everything got wiped out in the midst of development. Therefore, it is important to back up everything, not just daily, but weekly and monthly, in case we need to look back to research on something that has been done a while ago. There was an old saying in the information industry: the most important factors are backup, backup, and backup. It cannot be overemphasized that the importance of backup policy. Backup should apply to everything deemed important. In space travel, there are 6 contingencies to every important procedure, said Chris Hadfield. Not only should we back up data and programs, cross-functional training should provide opportunities for developers to back up each other. This is not only an insurance policy on delivery, but also quality assurance when the resources are capable of checking on each other. These are the takeaways. Deliveries is #1 key success factor in project management. The best development methodology is Agile, which is both iterative and incremental. When cross-functional training is combined with Agile methodology and an Agile platform such as Rintogi platform, projects can be delivered faster with less resources, lower cost, and higher quality. These are the references for further reading. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we shall discuss how business analysis is commonly conducted and introduce some of the techniques one may find useful in mission-critical database applications development.